The brightness of your being is generated from within. Hi. All right, so since the last time I talked to you, I was feeling a little bit discouraged with my mini road trip. I kind of felt worse that next week, and pressure just kind of built. There were a few things that I knew, even in the midst of this. I knew that the pressures that were happening were being created by me, based on ideas that I have and assumptions that I have, that although I feel stem from ideas of other people, they're still mine because I'm the one assuming them and thinking them. Another thing was, I knew I was in a lot of fear and just coming from a very kind of human space versus soul space in any capacity, which is why I was so overwhelmed, just really feeling not in alignment. But I was aware of that, and I think that that is very important. One of the things that I've talked a lot about in the last few years is how important it is to be in alignment, and how that's something I'm really striving for. That is why I made this channel. So this last week in my overwhelm, I was thinking about that and how what I was feeling, if someone else were feeling what I was feeling, I would know what to say to them. And I would say, when you're feeling that stressed, when you're feeling so unsure and all this pressure, either it's not in alignment for you or it's simply not time to make a decision. And so I've been reflecting on that a lot. And then this space with you, because it reminded me, and it's the first time since starting this channel where I really had that moment of, hey, this is me staying accountable. This is me actually living true to that. I didn't think it would actually be so beneficial so soon. I ended up doing a few things this week that I knew, well, that I thought might help, that would help me just kind of get out of my head. And what that was, first of all, I called my realtor and just had some conversations with him. And while we were talking, it felt very exciting, and I was definitely seeing places that I would enjoy living in, buying, renting out. But I woke up the next morning and I had just a feeling of a lot of anxiety. Another thing I did was I saw on Instagram a woman who I follow. She has an Airbnb business with her husband. She was just saying she had a few open sessions for a free coffee chat with her, like a non-sales coffee chat, just to talk about where people are at and what they're looking to do. And I signed up for it. I don't usually do that stuff, but I did it. I felt really aligned with what I've seen about them to begin with, and I might possibly need the help. Another thing that I did was I scheduled a call with a woman who she holds sessions kind of like a coaching session, but with a very strong spiritual and kind of tuned in aspect to it. And I did all of these things like in the moment. When I felt excited about them, I had to go for it and just schedule in that moment. And that's what I did. The call with the woman who did the more of the coaching style spiritual call was amazing. It was what I needed. One of the things she did that really stood out to me was she said we could look at a map together. There's something called astrocartography, where you can look at a map and it brings in like your astrology, your human design, all of that, and will tell you places that you really resonate with and places that you don't resonate with. She said I could look at a map and tell you. I thought she was going to pull that up, and she just closes her eyes and tunes in, and I was blown away. First of all, she said you have a lot more places lit up on your map than most people. And I was like, well, that makes sense, which is why I am a little bit of a nomad. 4 of the 6 places are places that either I have lived already, I was born in, or have immediate family who lives in, and that I love to visit. And that's in the whole United States. She asked if I wanted to just keep it to the States, and I said yes, because I don't need more options. And 2 of the other places are areas that have always been on my radar, and one I know I'm going to love. I just haven't made my way there. One was an area in Montana, actually, and another was a place I drove through in the southeast that I loved. I stayed in an Airbnb when I was driving through, but I've always felt like the Southeast is not an area I would want to live in, but rather just spend some time. And that is exactly what she said. She's like, I don't see you living there. And then I had the call with the woman who I was really feeling drawn to through what she does with Airbnb. And I almost canceled it because I was feeling like maybe this isn't what I need to focus on right now. Like, I kind of don't want to get more information. I just want to preface that all of these calls and any conversations that I have, I am very, very careful with the input that I take from others, because historically, when I take the influence and opinions of others, it's when I tend to not be as happy with my results. And I'm like, I can remember that my intuition told me one thing and someone told me another, and then I do the thing that I feel influenced by because it feels more logical and safe. So I've been very careful about that. But what I was left feeling with both of them was a reminder of why I want to do any of this in the first place. Like, what has excited me about these things. And I have felt so overwhelmed in the last, I'd say, like month or so, and it just continues to build, that I have forgotten the feeling of excitement. I've disconnected from it. And I've forgotten why I wanted to do certain things. And it's become easier to talk myself into things that feel safer. And I was having a conversation with someone this week who I am not sharing anything in my personal life with at the moment, but made a comment to me and said, you always know what to do and what's best for you. So just take time to think about that. And she was kind of saying it on a different topic, but it was that moment where I needed to hear that. And it really helped me to start it's hard to describe, but I've been disconnected from myself and my intuition and my inner guidance. And it reminded me how it feels when I'm tuned into it, because I do always know. All of these experiences this week have really helped me remember why I wanted any of this in the first place. And if I were to peel back the layers, starting from the most obvious thing that I could do right now, and that is going and buying a home to go and live in and keeping the current job that I have. That's easy and that's practical. That's not really what I want. So if I go a little bit deeper, I get a home that I can live in for a little bit, use it as a rental in a little while, and buy a little time until I can hit the road and do what I really want to do. But again, how do I know I can follow through with that? There's just so many things. If I go even deeper than that, and if I keep going deeper and saying, now what is under all of this? What is under all of the potential options that I have and the things that I can do? And what are the things that are fully just from a practical standpoint? And what are the things that feel a lot more soul aligned? Because one of my favorite things to do, any activity that connects me to my soul and discovering more of who I am and what is in my alignment. And now I'm at this moment where I get to make decisions that feel really big and actually find deeper alignment. And now that I'm here, a lot of my fears are coming up, a lot of my scarcity is coming up, and a lot of my conditioning. But I think what matters the most is that I'm aware of it, and thankfully I haven't actually had to make any decisions yet on any of this, but I'm going to have to soon. What I'm really saying, I guess, is that no decisions have been made, but I reached a peak this week of stress and let out a very big cry. And I don't cry too much, but I kind of got to that place of almost like a surrender of like, I can't create any more pressure. Saying yes to these moments with others really lit me up, and they were mirrors for me. And I needed that. And I'm just having one of those moments where I feel really grateful that I am able to take a deep sigh and that I feel so much more present. And I mean, just a few days ago, it felt like I was so overwhelmed that I couldn't have even sat down to talk about it. I just feel so grateful for those moments that something happens and it just brings you back into yourself, because there is so much going on right now in each of our lives and also in the world, and it can be so easy to get distracted. And there's so much influence and there's so much energy. I know for me, I had to bring my energy back in, because as long as I'm continuing to put it out into all of these possible things and I'm not bringing it back to me and I'm not protecting it or maintaining balance or finding balance when I lose it, then I feel the way I've been feeling. So even though a lot of these little adventures I've been going on and conversations I've been having have been leading me to a lot of no's, I'm really glad, because those are answers. I am looking forward to what's ahead, and I'm feeling that excitement again. I'm feeling that connection to myself and to what it is that lights me up. And when I think about how it would feel to be in abundance, I know what those decisions would be right now. And I really believe in energy and our intention, and I know that if I make decisions that don't align with that, then the rest of my life is going to be a mirror of me playing small. And I don't want that. I'm in the situation I'm in now because I started making decisions that were more in alignment for me. So I need to keep following through with that. But what I need to do in order to be able to do that is to continue to ground myself and do whatever I need on a daily basis to really step up, taking care of myself and where my thoughts are at and my overwhelm and my stress, and making sure I'm doing something daily to reconnect to me and being really aware of where I'm at. So I am really grateful that you're here, that you're coming on this journey with me. And in this moment, it feels a little bit, it's the beginning. But I plan to show up every week with you. And I really feel so excited to think about what that's going to look like in a few months, in a few years. And I don't know, there's just so much more going on behind the scenes on top of these main things, but I'm just really excited to see how it all unfolds. I'd love to hear from you if there is something that you are focused on right now, something that you are kind of finding alignment with or having a hard time finding alignment with. Whatever it is, or maybe what's helped you when you're in these moments. Anyway, I look forward to connecting with you again next week, and I will talk to you later. Bye.